to Choices Global, a production of First Assembly of God, Worthmanville, Georgetown, Guyana. As we continue to cultivate conversations pertinent to nation building, today's episode will take a different format. Instead of hearing from a group of panelists, you will be hearing from our members and friends living around the world. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, they will be placing the spotlight on the positive attributes of their community. So I trust that you will be blessed as you are taken on a virtual tour around the world into various communities.
As a homeowner, one of the things that I appreciate about the community I live in is that everybody takes security seriously. One of the ways in which we do that is that we have several WhatsApp groups, and I think in some cases Facebook groups, where we communicate real time, just alerting persons, letting people know, whether there's an incident, if somebody was robbed or somebody was hurt, or anything has happened, any update with regards to security, we all communicate it. Whoever is having the challenge or whoever is overcoming a situation. And we're all able to discuss in that group and share with each other. Give you a good example. One of the things that my friends and I laugh about all the time is that if there's a strange vehicle that comes into the community, and by strange I mean just that strange, the vehicle is not known like one of the homeowners' vehicles. It is not associated with one of the vehicles that normally would come to drop off or pick up somebody. It's not one of the normal taxis that are in the community. So you have the definition of strange. Once a strange vehicle comes into the community and stops at anybody's lot for more than 5 minutes, immediately there's a communication that passes. Hey guys, just alerting you that vehicle XYZ is parked at so for so long. So I used to tell my friends about this thing, and we used to, they never believed me. We used to laugh it off, right? Until one night, one of my friends dropped me home. They're not normally using this particular vehicle to drop me home. And we were in the car, close to the bridge. We were in the car, and we were just chopping it up. Then it was a really good night, and we just like doing our final goodbyes and these things. And true to form, a message came in the group, and I looked down and my phone pinged, and I started laughing. So everybody's like, why are you laughing? So I looked and I showed them. There's a video clip of the vehicle. There is the number plate. Everybody's asking, does anybody know this vehicle? People are doing their due diligence. And in that instant, it was fun. It was just something that was fun. I just messaged and said, hey guys, my friends are visiting. And, everything is okay. It's some of these people I haven't met in person, but we have this very vibrant virtual or online camaraderie, and it literally protects all of us. So while it might seem like a big joke to everybody else, that's one of the things I truly appreciate about living in my community. What do you appreciate about living in yours?
Hello, greetings. I'm speaking to you from Laurelton, Queens, New York. We have been living here for the past 15 years. It is peaceful and quiet, with brick homes, manicure lawns. The neighbors are friendly and supportive of each other. We do not see each other often, but when we do in the summer, we embrace each other and inquire of each other's well-being. Living in Laurelton offers residents a dense suburban feeling. Most residents own their homes, are professionals or retirees. We are close to malls and wonderful restaurants. diners, the Long Island Railway, and supermarkets. We've never experienced any crime for the years that we've been here. We feel safe and comfortable. What resonates with me is that we have a very great school environment. We have a positive school culture for the well-being and success of all students, which has a high impact on learning. So all in all, it's a very good. You have churches, you have comfort in your home, you have school for education for the young ones, and by God's grace, we have a very good, healthy environment that has been well taken care of. And so by God's grace, we will continue to live in Laurelton, our first love. Laurelton, Queens, New York.
Hello, I am Shaquan Corbin speaking to you from Geneva, Switzerland about my school community. Now, I have 3 things that I love about my school community. The first are my friends and fellow students. The second is the system CAS, and the third is my relationship with my teachers. Now, I celebrate my friends and my fellow students because of the cultures, because of the diversity and the different cultures I get to learn. I get to share my culture as a Guyanese, as well as learn about Brazilian culture, Indian culture, Cameroonian culture, Spanish culture, Italian culture, German culture, etc. And this gives a familial feeling, even though we are all from different areas. And I feel that this is linked to my second passion, which is the system CAS. It is a system employed by the heads of the International Baccalaureate that refers to creativity, activity, and service. Now, throughout these 2 years of the baccalaureate, we will be urged to pursue activities that fit these 3 boxes, and I feel that by doing so, communicate between each other, thus creating better relationships with each other, enabling us to which will help us for our university and also to have a purpose-driven life. And my last passion is my relationship with my teachers. So in the past, I felt that my relationship with my teachers was purely academic. However, now I feel that has changed, because I no longer feel that whenever I'm talking to a teacher, I no longer feel that I am challenging the power skills. However, I feel like it's a natural conversation it helps me feel less stressed and more at ease whenever I'm pursuing my want for knowledge and hoping to learn from their experience.
Hello everyone, my name is Naomi Steven, and I would have recently started at university this past few months. The sense of community among the students, I wouldn't say it's extremely strong. We have each other's backs when necessary. In some cases where we have assignments, maybe if one person doesn't understand, they'll send the question to the group chat. Other members of the group chat will answer, respond, give them their own opinions on how they could solve the problem. They won't exactly give them the answer, but they give them the necessary tools to solve the problem and get the correct answer. Another thing that happens among us is that sometimes we make jokes, It's necessary to have a sense of community among classmates. You can't be all strict and uptight with the people you're going to be spending the next 2 years of your academic life with. It's nice sometimes to have people that you can genuinely relate with in your class. Even if all of them are not the same age, we can usually get along well. Communication isn't really a problem for us, and it really does have this community kind of feeling, Sometimes a teacher says something funny and someone sends a message in the group chat, and for a good couple of minutes we laugh before saying, okay guys, let's focus on the lecture again. But the community at my university, I would say, has been a very important part of my university experience. It's been enjoyable thus far.
Right, so my name is Martha Messiah, and when it comes to my community, I would say that there are a few things that are positive that I really enjoy about my community. I think number one, it's safety and security. I notice not only for myself but the other neighbors, they take security and safety as a priority for them, so they ensure that things are in place so that as members of that community, persons that live work and operate in the community, you can have a sense of security, you know? You feel that your home is protected. Another aspect of the community that I appreciate is that persons, neighbors, they care about their properties, they care about their homes, and they ensure that, you know, as much as they can, they ensure that the yards are clean, that the properties are clean, that the buildings are painted or taken care of. And that's something that I think that other communities should always ensure that they consider. And I'll tell you about some stories about the community that I grew up in. So the community I grew up in was Tugville, and that's a community right in town. And what I enjoyed about the community was their openness and accepting their ability to facilitate early childhood development. You know what I mean? I appreciated that because I remember I had a wagon that I used to pull when I would walk around and play, and I'd put some stuff into the wagon. I'd pull it behind me, and I looked at the wagon and I said, you know what? This could be a boat, you know, because it's plastic. And if I put this in the water, it's supposed to float. Well, later that day, I discovered that that wagon, not all wagons could float, and that not all wagons could be turned into boats. And the beautiful thing about it is that not only was I rescued, but I was rescued by persons right in my community. When they saw me jump into the boat, even them wanted to know what was going on. But I really appreciated their openness to early childhood development and ensuring that children were allowed to play and have fun while being managed by adults nearby. The other thing that I think is important is recreational activities. So when I wanted to go fishing, you know, some people would say you'd have to go out to your community or all that to go fishing. We had a gutter right in front that me and my dad, we would go out there and we put on a hook, and in a few minutes we'd be able to pull up a couple of tilapias, you know. So that is another important aspect of communities when you're creating it. Create spaces for recreation, and not only stuff like fishing, but even cricket. Because I remember sometimes in the afternoons or in the weekends, our roads would be transformed into cricket fields, you know. And another aspect that I appreciated about it is that the neighbors weren't hostile to the children, because if you hit the ball over in the neighbor's yard, you just go by the yard and you shout, inside, could I collect the ball? Or you could throw the ball over the fence, you know. So it's important for us to build communities that are safe and secure, communities that have spaces for recreation, and communities that are also built for not only young professionals, but families.
Good afternoon, I am Nicola, and I am coming to you from the beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago, and particularly from the community of Mova Laventille, situated in the San Juan Laventille district. Now in Mova Laventille, there literally in a circle you can find a savannah, police station, fire service, post office, and health center, along with a kids recreational thing. There are several schools in the area, both primary and secondary schools, as well as a vocational school. There's basketball courts, there's swimming pools, and those are easily accessible, and those are some of the things that we appreciate about the community. And the fact that you can see neighbors early in the morning doing their daily exercises all around. We call it a cul-de-sac, and all around they would walk around there, starting at 5 o'clock in the morning, and for 1 hour you will find them just doing that circle. And it's a very neighborly community in some cases, and in some areas, you know, you'll find the neighborly camaraderie and neighbors looking out for others. And there are some areas that it's not so safe to do these things. So those are so there's both a negative and a positive to it. And the beauty about this is that what you see in one community is mirrored in all communities across the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. You will find a savannah, you will find a police station, etc. So that's how That's all that I have to say about my community this afternoon. And I am blessed to be living in an area where you do not frequently see crime happening. It might be happening on the outskirts or up in the hills or in the other section, but I'm thankful to God that the area that I live in Mova is relatively quiet. They're more like what we call stalwarts of the community that would have been here for quite some time. Head teachers, retired headmistresses and headmasters, retired police officers, retired servicemen, and these different things. And of course, you will find that some other young people in the area would have taken the same path as their parents. They would be teachers and police officers and different area. And in the area, you could literally find everything: your mechanic, your shops, and everything, just like in the community. Have a blessed one.
Hello everyone, my name is Kim Stephen and I live in Perfect Harmony, a community that's located on the west bank of Demerara. We've been living here for the last 17 years and I am so grateful to God for the neighbors that I am surrounded by. You know, one of the things that I would have talked to God about prior to us moving in here is for us to have good neighbors, because there are so many stories about neighbors not living, happily, neighbors not living in harmony and all of that. So that was one of my things. I wanted to be surrounded by good neighbors. And I must say today that God answered my prayer. My neighbors and we exchange telephone numbers, and that's so, if I'm not at home and they notice anything unusual, a package is delivered or anything, my neighbors are there to step in and do the necessary, and the same, it's vice versa. Now, there are other instances where my neighbors have really come through for me, and I can recall one such event occurring recently. I was doing some construction, well, not me. There were some men working in the yard on a piece of construction for me, and it was about to rain. Now, we didn't have anything to cover this piece of work with. My neighbor, without being asked, said, "Kim, I have construction plastic, I can give you a piece." And that was indeed a beautiful thing to me. That's just to show the kind of relationship we have. There was another time I went to work, my husband went to work, Naomi was at school, and I got a call from my neighbor, "Kim, is anybody at home?" So I said, "No." I said, "Why?" She said, "Your front door is wide open." Well, of course, I panicked because you were not at home and your front door open. Anyway, you know what my neighbor did? She jumped the fence because the gate was locked and came in and pushed that door in until we got here. There's another funny incident that occurred. A crapo or a frog was in the house jumping around, and my dear beloved daughter ran out of the house and left me alone to tend to it. So you know what I did? I called my neighbor's husband across, and he came through like a knight in shining armor, hit that toad out of the house for 6. So to be surrounded by beautiful neighbors, to be surrounded by kind neighbors is indeed a welcome, a very, very welcome blessing. And I pray that, we, all of us, can have such neighbors. When my mom passed, my neighbors were the first to turn up at the funeral parlor. Birthday parties, we were invited over. Even if we can't make it, our food comes over. So I find it such a blessing to be surrounded by beautiful neighbors, and I hope all of you have such neighbors as well. God bless you all.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. And my name is Alan Dublin. I live in London. The area that I live in, it's called Bromley. I live in 4 Brockman Rise. And it's a very nice and peaceful community that I live in. My neighbors, we all look out for each other. And if there's a strange person lurking around, the neighbors, they will sit behind the blind in the house. You can't see them from outside, but they will see you and they will look at you. And if you make any funny move, they will call the police. And the other thing about my community where I live in, every Monday the garbage truck come to collect garbage. So I have 3 bins. I have one for like cartoon box and bottle, one for the normal waste, and one for weed. And sometime if I'm not there, my neighbor will come and take my bin out of the yard, put it outside, and when the truck has collected it, empty it, and if I don't put my bin in, they would pick my bin and bring it back inside for me. And so we live like family. This neighborhood, on this street, we live like family. We look out for each other. We share things. We share things together. Like last summer, I plant a lot of tomatoes and vegetables, and we share. I share what they have. If they plant anything that I don't have, and they will share with me, and we share. And the other thing that I want to talk about my community where I live in, when it comes to like transportation-wise, public transportation, the bus is like 2 minutes away from my house. So I walk like 2 minutes. Sometimes I stay in my house and I bring up the bus up and I check to see what time the bus is coming. So I don't have to go and sit there and wait on the bus. The tram stop is like 10 minutes away from where I live in. So I walk 10 minutes and I got to the tram stop. The train is like 5 minutes walk to the train station. And I got train to take me to connect me any part of London. And it's so nice the here that I'm living. I really enjoying it because one, the people, they are good. 2, commuting wise there's not a problem. Any part of London I could connect with a bus, tram, or a train. And so I'm enjoying where I'm living, and I thank God for that.
Hello, I'm Siobhan Corbin, and I'm a Guyanese living in the diaspora. I believe that communities are a place where we don't just live, but we should thrive. And so walking the streets of Geneva, Switzerland, where I live with my family, is always an opportunity to draw parallels and positive things that I see in this community that I could transplant to my home country, or that I can celebrate because I see them as well in my own country. And so I live in the village of Vernier with a population of about 30,000 persons. Now this is comparable or 10 times my Plaisance village with a population of 3,000. Some of the things that I celebrate about the community in which I now live is how they ensure that at the intersection of health and education, social cohesion, religion, culture, and well-being is the heart of the citizen who should thrive. And so 3 things that I would like to celebrate are the education sector, where each year at the end of the term, children are allowed to do a promotion parade in the streets, celebrating the culture with music and dance and their costumes. And what is powerful is not only are the children taken to the streets, but the political administration in the form of the mayor and his assistants would also march alongside the children, not only supporting them, but also demonstrating accountability, political leadership, and an example for our youths to follow, where the political administration is constantly engaged with the community. The second that I would like to celebrate is the programs they have for social cohesion. Here they ensure that there are programs for every age group, from the young to the teen, to the young adult, to the person developing their family, all the way to the retirees. And so you could find programs for older folks who have retired, such as evening bridge and other games. You can also find them planning excursions to the lake, to the mountains, to the chalets, and encouraging the youths to come out and support the older folks as they're going out, so that there is a transfer not only of this spirit of volunteering and taking care, but it's also an opportunity to pass along culture and responsibility to our younger ones. The third thing that I would like to celebrate is the powerful way in which the Swiss culture will integrate others who come from the Caribbean, from Africa, from other parts of Europe, including Ukraine, where persons have been displaced and are moving to other countries, from Africa, from Asia. And even though the Swiss culture includes 3 languages, they are able to integrate people who speak English, Spanish, Hindi, Swahili, and many other languages into their culture. And this is a parallel that I draw with my home country, Guyana, given that we are seeing an influx of immigrants coming from many countries, including Venezuela, Brazil, Haiti, and further afield because of the economic shift that has come with our oil find. And so as I celebrate what is good about the Swiss culture, I celebrate as well what is good about my own country, Guyana, where our diversity could teach us to integrate others that are coming, yet protecting our culture, protecting our values, protecting our religion. And I see the church as one of the powerful units that can facilitate this integration, this transfer, and this thriving of communities because of the many programs and the many people that they touch. I pray that you will walk around your community and see something positive to celebrate today, tomorrow, or another day in the week. Bless you.
I'm Angeli, and my immediate environment is Queens, New York. My perspective is the presence and practice of strong religion. May 2022, I looked up in the bleachers, and there is my dad on his feet, hands waving in the air, praising God with shouts of hallelujah, as speaker after speaker, representing the highest level of the academic community, quote scripture, give testimony, and credit their journey to the King of Kings and Lord of Lords unapologetically at the commencement exercise of the prestigious St. John's University. This university is highly acclaimed for producing competitive sports teams representing multiple ethnicities with diverse cultures, people with various convictions, but its core is living Jesus on their sleeves. Closer to my weekly community experience, every Friday, ringing out in Jamaica Estates is the lyrics, and I quote, "We've existed so long cause the Torah kept us strong. The Torah will never disappear. When all you see is night, just remember you are light. Uplift a friend and they'll make you smile." The chorus says, "I'm a Jew and I'm proud, now sing it out aloud, cause forever that's what I'll be." This song plays over and over from a speaker as Jews and rabbis interact with kids and parents for about 30 to 45 minutes every week. People from mixed cultures, various backgrounds, are openly practicing worship, whether it's a song from their phones playing in the bus or a hum reflecting their morning devotions, perhaps a pop-up sidewalk PA system playing Christian worship as people travel, busy and focused. No one seems slighted nor offended. This is significant and encouraging in a society that is known as secularists, a sign of hope, reflecting an emerging generation.
Thank you to all our members and friends who took time out to identify and share the many positives of your community. To our viewers, it is our desire that you were encouraged to preserve the positives and pursue the opportunities for development in your community. Remember to keep in touch with us at faogw.org and our YouTube channel, Choices Global. Join us for our next episode on the 4th of December 2022. Until next time, stay safe.